Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Caroline. I'm the designer behind Coconut Creations, and today we'll have a tutorial to how to make this flower monster. So we will be making this pattern step by step together, and I'm really excited to share this with you. So first, let's go get our materials ready. Let's start with our material. You can use whatever hook and yarn that you prefer, but this is what I will be using for mine. I'll be using a 3mm crochet hook, a stitch marker, some polyfill. We're gonna need a tapestry needle, and if you have either some T-pins or some Ami sticks, I highly recommend to be able to sew the pieces on straight, and it helps for them not to fall off. You're gonna need scissors, and then let's go to the yarn because we need 4 colors. First, we're gonna need the main body color. So for mine, I'm using Lion Brand Pound of Love, and the color it is Pumpkin Pie. You will need some red. I'm using Big Twist Value Pound in color Varsity Red. You will need some white. Any brand of white works. I cannot remember which one this one is, but that's okay. And then you're gonna need some black. So now we have all our materials. Let's get started. All right, so first, we're gonna start with the head and body. The head and body is made in one piece. So let's start with our main color for our head and body. I am going with the Pumpkin Pie. Let's get started. First, we need to do our magic circle. If you need a little refresher how to make it, I'm gonna do it really quick, but I do have a tutorial on my YouTube channel how to make it. So this is how I make it. Take your tail, wrap it, hold it with your thumb and your index, wrap it around your 2 fingers and wrap it again so you can see this X on top. Put your hook under the piece of yarn that's over your middle finger. Grab your yarn, and then you're gonna grab this yarn again that you just did, and then you're gonna pull through. And I have a more detailed video on my channel, so feel free to go check that out. So round 1, we are going to put 6 single crochet in your magic circle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you're gonna close. All you gotta do is pull on that tail to close it as tight as possible. Round 2, we are going to increase all around. So starting in your first stitch, that one can be a little tight, but that's okay. I like to wrap my magic circle tail at the same time for the next few stitches just to secure it. So then an increase is 2 single crochet in each stitch. So we're gonna do that 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now this is where I personally put my stitch marker. I always put the stitch marker on the last stitch of the round, but you can also put it on the first stitch of the round. Whatever you feel more comfortable with, it's totally fine. So now we have 2 rounds. Round 3, we are doing 1 single crochet, 1 increase. And we're gonna do that 6 times until you get back to your stitch marker. So 1 increase, 1 single crochet, increase. You're going to do that 6 times. It's gonna give you a total of 18 stitches. Increase, and then 1 single crochet, increase. This is round 3. Round 4, you're going to do 2 single crochet and 1 increase. Again, you're going to repeat this 6 times, and you're going to have a total of 24 stitches. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, increase. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, increase. Repeat that all around. We are now done round 4. We are at round 5. So you're going to do 3 single crochet, and then you're going to increase in the next one. We will be doing that 6 times for a total of 30 stitches. So again, 1, 2, 3 single crochet, 1 increase, 1, 2, 3, increase. You will do that 6 times until you get back to your stitch marker. We are now done round 5. I like to move my stitch marker every few rounds just so it's easier to see where your last stitch or your first stitch is. Now this is the last round of increase for the head. We're going to do 4 single crochet, 1 increase times 6 for a total of 36 stitches. So again, like we've been doing, you're doing 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochet, and then we're going to increase. 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochet, 1 increase. You will repeat this 6 times until you get back to your stitch marker. You have now completed all the increases for the head. We finished round 6. The next few rounds are repeat rounds of only single crochet. So round 7 to round 12, it is only single crochet. You're going to single crochet in each of these stitches. That is 6 rounds of single crochet that you're going to be doing. So we're going to start together and then go do all your 6 rounds of single crochet and come back to the video. We'll be able to continue with our decrease rounds. But first, let's work those 6 rounds of single crochet. So now we have finished our 6th round of single crochet. Again, to help you move your stitch marker. The next round, on round 13, we're going to do 4 single crochet, then we're going to decrease. We're going to do that 6 times for a total of 30. We're going to have a total of 30 stitches at the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I recommend doing the invisible decrease where you are only going to pick up the front loop of the 2 stitches next to each other like this. See how we have the 2 front loops? You're going to do your single crochet like you normally would, pass through those 2 loops, and then you're going to repeat that 6 times until you get back to your stitch marker. We are now at round 14. We're going to do 3 single crochet, 1 decrease all around. So that's going to be a total again of 6 times. You're going to have a total of 24 stitches at the end. So 1, 2, 3, decrease. We're doing the invisible decrease once again. 1, 2, 3, decrease. Do this 6 times. Round 15, we are going to do 2 single crochet, 1 decrease times 6 for a total of 18 stitches. 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, decrease. You will be doing that 6 times until you get back to your stitch marker. We are now done round 15. Now we're gonna start stuffing the head before doing the last round of decrease. So like that's a little bit easier to get the stuffing in. Make sure to fluff it up. And it's important that when you put it in, put it small pieces at a time. So like that it's easier to shape. We never put handfuls at a time. If you do so, it'll end up just making lumps, and it's much harder to be able to really shape it the way you like. So we start a little bit at a time. And then I just like to go around the edges first, all around, and then slowly put some in the middle. And kind of like with your hand, kind of help form the ball, as the head is supposed to be very round, or at least as round as possible. You don't have to finish stuffing right now, but this is usually pretty good. And now we're gonna go to round 16, where we are doing 1 single crochet, 1 decrease times 6. You will have 12 stitches after this. So 1, decrease, 1, decrease, 1, decrease. And you're going to do that until you get back to your stitch marker. And that will be the last round of decrease we're going to be doing for the head. And this is the last one. So, like always, move your stitch marker as you go to help guide you. Here we can start putting a bit more stuffing. Again, small pieces at a time. Try to shape it as you go. I like to have like for my plushies to be like on the firmer side, more like a firm orange, just because the longer people like use it, manipulate your work, the stuffing will move around and then it will get softer. So you want it to be harder at first so it lasts longer and it keeps its shape longer. So that's why I kind of stuff it more, but not too much, because you don't want to see the stuffing through the stitches either. That's very important. Now that we've stuffed our head, we are now at round 17. So round 17 to round 19, we'll do a repeat round of single crochet. You'll be single crocheting 12 stitches all around for 3 rounds. So I repeat, round 17 to round 19 is only single crochet. You're going to be single crocheting for 3 rounds straight. That is for the neck. So let's start together. Then you can go and complete your 3 rounds and come back to the video, and we're going to be able to start increasing for the body. So once you're done your single crochet, come back and we'll be at the body. We are now done round 19. We are going to start our increases for the body. So round 20, we will be doing 1 single crochet, 1 increase, times 6. We will do that 6 times, and you'll have a total of 18 stitches around to start your body at the end of round 20. 1 increase, and then continue until you get back to your stitch marker. Round 21, we will do 2 single crochet, 1 increase, times 6, and you'll have a total of 24 stitches. 2 increase, 2 single crochet, increase, 2 single crochet, and then if you're not sure, you go back. You can see here the 2. Okay, so we just did 1, 2 single crochet, and increase. Repeat all around. Round 22, we are going to do 3 single crochet, 1 increase, times 6, for a total of 30 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, 3, increase, and do that all around. We have now completed round 22. Now, before starting for round 23, we will start stuffing the neck. So at this point, you want to stuff the neck. Since we're going to be adding a lot on the head, like for the mouth petals, that will become a little heavy, and we don't want the neck to be floppy. If you're using velvet yarn, most like burnout velvet, I recommend stuffing a little bit more, because with the velvet it seems that the yarn just stretches a little bit more and the necks become more, I would say, like loopy, like falling off pretty easily. Well, I wouldn't say falling off, I would say like just floppy. So I would recommend you can either make a small tube to put in the neck if that's a problem, or what I like to do, I just make a ball out of the polyfill, and I like to rub it between my hands to kind of make it a little bit more dense, and then I insert it into the neck. So that's what I feel like works the best for me. And now for round 23 to round 32, we are going to be doing repeat rounds, of 30 single crochet. So you're going to single crochet all around now for the body for 10 rounds. So around 23 to 32, you're only single crocheting around. So 10 rounds of single crochet. So we will start together. And you're gonna go do your 10 rounds of single crochet, and then come back to the video so we can start stuffing the body and start decreasing for the body. So see you guys in a minute. All right, we have now finished our 10 rounds of single crochet. Now we're gonna start decreasing. I like to decrease about 2 rounds before I start stuffing, so the stuffing stays inside. It's a little bit easier. So now we're on round 33. We're going to do 3 single crochet, 1 decrease, times 6 for our total stitches of 24. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to decrease. 1, 2, 3, decrease. You're going to do this 6 times. We are back to our stitch marker. We have 24 stitches now. We're going to be at round 34. We're going to do 2 single crochet, 1 decrease times 6 for a total of 18 stitches. You're going to have at the end. So 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, decrease. And you're going to do that for a total of 6 times. We are done round 34. Here, that's when I like to start stuffing the body. So you're gonna take your polyfill like we did for the head earlier. We're going to stretch it, fluff it, and only take small parts at a time. It's important that we shape as we're putting it in and not just putting giant clump of stuffing inside the body. And I like to use my one hand holding it, and I'm kind of like pushing it around on the outside, kind of see to shape it, and the inside I use my fingers to kind of push it in, and I always start with the outer and then put some in the middle. It's always easier, and it's easier to shape that way. So we're not fully stuffing just yet. I like to do like the biggest part here, and then we're gonna slowly add more after each round. We still have 2 rounds of decrease, so after each one we're going to add a little bit more, but so far this is pretty good. Maybe a tiny bit more. And I like to put on the outside here. Make sure to shape it like this. And now we're gonna go to round 35 and decrease again. All right, we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 decrease times 6, and you'll have 12 stitches. 1, decrease, 1, decrease, 1, decrease. And like all the other rounds, you're gonna do that until you get back to your stitch marker. All right, round 35 is done. You will add a little bit more stuffing. I always like to stuff as I go. Try not to tangle everything up. You want to make sure too you don't overstuff it. You don't want it too soft, but you don't want it to be too stuffed either where it shows through your stitches. Because if you put too much stuffing, it will stretch your stitches and you will see them through. So, all right, last round, we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 decrease times 4 this time. You're going to have 8 stitches left to close. So 1 decrease, 1 decrease, 1 single crochet, decrease, decrease. Now you have 8 stitches. What I like to do to fasten off is in the next stitch, I just do a slip stitch. I chain 1 to secure. Take my scissors. We don't need that long of a tail, just enough to be able to close it up. You see? When you see here, there's still a little bit of space for some stuffing. So we're gonna gently push it in. Again, I always go like in a circular motion, because that's what works best for me. And you don't want to overstuff it either. All right, now we're going to take our tapestry needle. You're going to thread it with your tail from the bottom of the body we just did, and we're going to close. Closing is very simple. You're going to pick up the front loop of each stitch around, and you're just gonna pull your yarn through and then go to the other side, and you're gonna do that all around, kind of like how you would do with a string bag. So only the front loop you're using, you're not using both loops. So the loop that is closer to you, you're trying to see the loop that is closer to you, so on the outside is the front loop. Make sure you get that one. And then you pull, and then you make sure the stuffing stays where it's supposed to be. And then we pull. And what I like to do is go back through those stitches we just went through. You can see them here. And I go back, it helps close it, and then I pull. See how it closed way better like that? And then I go back around a few times to secure, make sure it does not open. And then I always make a knot, well actually I make 2 knots to be super secure. You don't want this to open. I do pull kind of tight, just not too, don't pull too hard where it snaps. And then I like to wave it in, and when you wave it in through the body like this, it can move the stuffing around, so make sure you don't pull too hard. It's just in case something happens. You also have a tail inside the body to work with in case it breaks and you need to open. That's what I use it for, and also just to make sure it's extremely secure. And now you have your head, woo, stuffing all over the place. You have your head and your body for your flower monster, Demogorgon. So now we're gonna go to the next part, because we have a lot of pieces to make for this guy, but the biggest piece is done. So now let's get to the other pieces. Next, I'll make the inner mouth piece. So you're gonna need black that attracts a lot of fluffing. That's why you can actually see it and all over the place. Let's put the stuffing away, we don't need it, and it just makes a mess on the black. So you're gonna need your black yarn. You're going to need same size crochet hook, your 3mm or whatever you're using with your yarn for your project, your scissors, and your stitch marker. The mouth is pretty easy. It is 4 rounds. So we're gonna start with round 1 in a magic circle. You're going to put 6 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna close that bad boy up. Make sure it's secure. And then round 2, we're going to increase in all those stitches. So you're gonna have 12 stitches. So let's start by increasing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now you have 12 stitches. I like to add my stitch marker on the last stitch of the round. We can put it on the first, whatever you feel comfortable with and the way you love to work with. Round 3, we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase times 6. You will have 18 stitches. So 1 increase, 1 increase, 1 stuffing everywhere, increase. The only thing with black yarn, you get to see all that stuffing all over the place. Oh my god. 1 increase, and then we're almost there. Another increase, and then the last one single crochet, increase. Alrighty, here you go. That's how your mouth looks so far. Last round, round 4, is 2 single crochet, 1 increase times 6. You'll have 24 stitches at the end. So again, like we just did, 1, 2, increase, whoops, 1, 2, increase, and you're gonna do that until you get back to your stitch marker. Oops. And the last one, increase. Now we're gonna fasten off. So like we did for the body, in the next stitch, I like to slip stitch, do a chain, and then we're gonna leave a tail for sewing. Probably around this much. Probably what, 10, 15 inches? Give or take. It all depends too. I don't like to have too long, because if I don't use it, it's just a waste. But we're not done with the mouth. We need to add the teeth around it. So you're going to need your white yarn, and we're going to take that one. You can take a longer piece than you actually might need, just to be sure. So I took a very long piece. You're going to take your tapestry needle. Oops. You're going to thread it. I like to start where we fasten off, and I start from the back. So you can see we're gonna leave a tail in the back so we can tie a knot and secure it after. And I just go, so when you go in from the back to the front, you're gonna enter back in the back again to exit in the front. And each stitch around, like this. So then again, you came out to the front, so you're going to insert in the back of the project. See, that's the back, front, in the next stitch, insert into the next stitch, and you make sure your little tail's not in the way, and it's going to make this. So again, like this. Pretty easy, pretty simple. If you want to add more teeth to the middle, feel free to do so. Again, with your white yarn, you can add more. There's different ways you can add them, the way that they're going to be added on the petals. So once we get there, you can always add them later to the middle. Once you see the part, I am having trouble here, the part for the petals and the teeth on the petals. So you're going to do that all around. And we're almost back to the end. And I know it can be tricky with the black yarn. So here, when we're gonna be at the front, I like to loop it here to the back. Some parts not really gonna be seen, and then I like to secure with a knot. Just cut off the excess. Alright, so this is how the inner piece of the mouth looks like. So these pieces are going to be hiding behind like this. So now let's get to the next part. Next part, we are going to make the arms. You will need 2 arms. You'll need your main color, your hook, same size, stitch marker, and your scissors. So Round 1 and round 2 of the arms are a little bit more tricky, so I will try to go as slow as I can so you can see. So round 1 in a magic circle. So we're gonna start with making our magic circle. Now everything we're gonna be making for round 1 is made in this magic circle. First, we're doing 1 single crochet. Then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to slip stitch down 2 chain. So in the second chain from the hook, you're going to do a slip stitch and a slip stitch in the third. Apologize for my baby girl. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet, still everything in the magic circle. We're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to slip stitch down the chain, so again, always in the second chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do 1 single crochet. We're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch into the second chain from the hook and slip stitch all the way down. 2, 3, and 4. 1 single crochet. We're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, slip stitch starting the second chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to put 2 single crochet in the magic circle. Now we close as tight as we can. And now this is your fingers. I will show you round 2. We're going to be working in between. For round 2, we will be doing 1 single crochet, 1 increase, only in the stitches that we did single crochet from the previous round, okay? So we started with a single crochet at first before we did the first chain. So that one is hiding in here. It might be hiding a little bit, so you have to be patient. Wiggle yourself through. That's the 1 single crochet. So 1, and then you're gonna pull the first finger on the outside of the hand, because this will be showing on the outside, this is the inside. So pulling the fingers, the hand towards the outside like this. Right here you have the single crochet that we did in the previous, so we're going to do 2 single crochet in that one. Doing the exact same thing, pulling the finger in on the outside of the hand. We're going to go to that single crochet that's right next to it, and we're going to put 1 single crochet. Again, we're repeating, moving the finger towards the outside of the work. Remember, this is the inside of the work. We're going to do 2 single crochet, moving the last finger out of the way to get the last here. Right here we do 1 single crochet and then 1 increase, and then like this you got your little hand, and you see how all the stitches are in the back here, so the fingers pull to the front on the outside of your work. So this is how it looks. It's not as hard as it seems. I know it could be a little bit intimidating at first, but once you get the hang of it, you will see. If you need to, pause the video, go back and watch again. But this is how it should look right now. And now for round 3 to round 10, very simple. We're just going to single crochet around. You're gonna have 9 stitches, so you're gonna do 8 rounds of single crochet, You will not stuff the hands or the arms. They will stay empty. So we'll start together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's round 3, and now you're going to continue until you get to round 10. So you're going to do 8 rounds of single crochet. Then come back and I'll show you how to close the arm. We are now done with our repeat rounds of single crochet. So we've done 8 rounds. Now we're going to close our arms. You want the front of the fingers to be aligned like this when you're single crocheting it shut. Don't forget, we do not stuff the arms at all. And then you're just going to pinch together and single crochet them, the 2 sides together like this. Chain 1 so it's easier when you fasten off. And then leave the tail for sewing, because we will be not only sewing this part, we also sew this part to the body, so you need a little bit longer tail. So make 2 of these, and then when you're done, come back and we're going to work on the legs. Now we're on the legs. You're also going to make 2 of these. We are not stuffing the legs whatsoever either, just like the arms. So you're going to need the color, your main color. For round 1 in a magic circle, you're going to do 6 single crochet. Oops. So let's start with 6 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pull tight. Round 2, you're going to increase times 6, so you're going to have 12 stitches. You increase in every single one of these stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you will have 12 single crochet. You can always count just to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So round 3 to round 10, like we did with the arms, it's only going to be single crochet around for 8 rounds. So you should have 12 stitches right now. We're also not stuffing the legs, and we're going to close the exact same way we just did for the arms, leaving a long tail to also sew the legs to the body, not only that part right here, but also in here that I will show you. So do round 3 to round 10, and you will be done with your legs, and then come back for the other parts. We are now done our 8 rounds of single crochet like we did for the arms. You're just going to pinch and single crochet the 2 sides together to close, just like that. Again, chain 1, leave a tail for sewing, just like this. And now you have your 2 legs. Boom. Now let's go for the flower petals, aka the mouth, like those mouth. I call them petals. They look like petals. Let's go with that. A little bit easier to explain. So for the mouth petals, you will need 5 red and 5 of the body color. So I recommend you start with the red and then fasten them off and put them aside. We're going to be making that's the inner part of the flower petal. That's the outer part of the flower petal. That's why it's the same color as the body. I recommend not fastening off after each brown one, so we can single crochet them together. If you have fastened them off, don't worry, you can always just pull up a loop here, both of them together, and then just go and single crochet, whatever you feel like. But let me show you how to make these petals in the first place. Let's get started. Remember, you start with red, do all 5. Let's get started for the petals. So first, we're gonna make a slip knot. We're going to chain 2 and single crochet in the second chain from the hook. You're going to chain 1. Round 2, turn, and you're going to do 1 increase. 1, chain 1. We're going to turn. Round 3, we're increasing times 2. So now we have 2 stitches. So we're going to increase in each of them. 1, 2. If you need, feel free to pause the video and go back. That is totally fine. All right, so now we're turning. Round 4, we're going to increase in the first stitch. We're going to do 2 single crochet. 1, 2, and then we're going to increase in the last one. 1, 2, and then again chain 1, turn your work. Round 5, you're going to round 5, you're going to increase 1, single crochet 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to increase in the last stitch. Increase, chain 1. We're going to turn. Round 6 and 7 is pretty easy. It's the same thing. You should have 8 stitches across. We're going to single crochet through all 8, chain 1, turn, single crochet through all 8. So round 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Chain 1, turn. We're going to do this one last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I like to chain 1 and not turn to add the red part. So before you add this, you can make the teeth. I usually make it once everything's together. So if you feel like putting the teeth in before crocheting them together, skip ahead, go watch how I did the teeth, then you can come back. Or you can do like me and just single crochet them together, and I'm making like the teeth is a me problem for later. So that's what I do. So now you're not fastening off your main color. You're gonna put your red petal on top. I like to just hide the ends and put in between them because we're not gonna see them. So that's the outside work. That's what's the inside we're gonna see from the petal. And I just like to single crochet. Just like that. There's not really a specific number. You just go through both petal, and I usually go, you can kind of see where you did your chain 1 and you turned. That's basically where I'm going. So you just go around. It's just to have them nicely together. Kind of. Sometimes you have to fight a little with it, and I like to just hide the ends. And again, if like that, if something happened, I have the ends I could use for sewing if needed. They never pop out of the petal itself by just being hidden. For the top, I like to put 3, to, just to kind of easier to go to the other side, and then again you just, it's pretty simple, and you're going to do that for all your petals. So all together, once they're all crocheted together, you'll have 5 petals, but don't forget you have to crochet all together 10, but you will have a total of 5 mouth petals once you finish crocheting them all together. So you just crochet them together just like this. And then we're getting close to the end. See, that's the last stitch. I like to go back through like the first one we made and then do a slip stitch just like this, and then chain 1 and leave a tail for sewing. This is how your first mouth petal will look like. So now go make all your other petals and come back. We will be adding the teeth. All right, so for the teeth, you're going to need your finished petal, your tapestry needle, your white yarn, and you're gonna need your scissors. Of course, there is there's no pattern itself, like how you can put them all straight, you can put them all crooked, you can make them small, some large, some a mix of, you know, whatever you feel like. This part is all optional and creative, so that's the part I really like, is that no petal is going to end up being the same, and since it's, you know, the inside of the mouth of a monster, that's totally fine. So if you are making the teeth after they're together like I am, you make sure that you do not see the white through the back. So what I do is I go to the corner and I kind of wiggle myself in. You can see I'm not in the back, so you're going between both triangles, both petals. If you're doing the same principle, if you're already putting the teeth to the red piece before single crocheting them together, you're going to do the same thing. It's just that it doesn't matter if it shows behind here, because this will be against this, you will not see it, so it doesn't really matter. So I like to leave a little tail, because we're going to come back and when we fasten off to tie it up. And I just like to go around, in and out. This part is really like, go with your creativity, go with what like inspires you. It can be small ones, can be large ones. You can have gaps in between them. You can be them all like stuck together. If you want more teeth, add more. You want less, add less. And same thing, this method, you will be doing that. If you want to add more teeth to your inner mouth part, do the same thing. So I just go in and out. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy, pretty simple. And you really go with your preference. And you make sure your tails don't get stuck in there. Then this. You're going to do that all around. Then when we're done, I will show you how we are going to fasten off to secure that yarn, because we don't want it to go anywhere. Let's try to see if we can put one up here. See, it's not perfect, and it doesn't have to be perfect. That's what I love the most about this design. And then, so when you're done, I'm doing my last one and I'm coming back out where we did the tail. I personally like to just tie 2 knots to fully secure, and then cutting pretty much the same length, and we're going to weave in the end so it doesn't show. Again, you want to make sure you see nothing shows on the back, because we went between the 2 mouth petals. Then I like to twist them just so it's easier to put through tapestry, you know, see, like that, and pull it through. Take my scissors and I like to just gently push it back in just to hide it. And again, don't forget to reshape as you go, very important. And here is your mouth petal with your teeth. Once they are all done, we will be assembling the whole monster. So let's get ready. We are now at the assembly. So what you will need is all your pieces. You'll need your tapestry needle. If you're doing the small one with worsted weight yarn like I did with a 3mm hook, I recommend T-pins as they are smaller and stays in the smaller project. If you're using anything bigger such as blanket yarn, chenille, velvet, plush yarn, I recommend Ami sticks as they are larger and they will hold your pieces much easier than the T-pins in place so you can sew. I do have some Ami sticks, Ami sticks available in my shop, and I will link it in the description if you wish to get yourself some. So first, let's start with the legs. We're gonna sew the legs on each side of the body, and we're gonna sew them between round 30 and 33. So we're gonna count starting at the magic circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So we're gonna put it around 30. And I like to put 3. Actually, we're gonna put it on round 29. I just realized it's a little too low, so we're gonna put 1 round up, so round 29. So count to round 29 instead of 30. To put the second one, pretty easy. I check on this side, you can see where the line is, and I just go to the other side. Like this, and then add your T-pins for much easier sew. So like that, when we have the arms up here, you'll have all the space you need. You see? All right, so we will sew one side together, and then you can go sew the other side. We're gonna do the exact same thing on both sides, and then we're gonna sew the arms together too. So first, thread your tapestry needle. You're gonna insert into the body first, and you're gonna come out through the leg. In the same stitch, I like to do this twice to be really secure. And as you go, you can take your T-pins off. Then right next to it, the stitch right next to it, you're going to do the same thing. And I like to pass it through the same stitch twice. Woo. Just so it's really secure, just like this. Just like this, you're gonna go all the way up there. Like this. This is the last one. I like to take the last T-pins out. Okay. Okay, so here we're gonna tie a little knot, but we're not fastening it off. It's just to secure it. Just one knot. Then you're gonna insert right next to it. And as you leave your leg straight with, like, you're gonna have it parallel to that same stitch, same round, you're gonna come out, give or take about here. You need to be at least close to the toes, but not too close, if that makes sense. but you don't want to be too far back either, because then the leg's gonna still open like this. We don't want that. You're gonna insert through the leg like this, and at the bottom you're gonna re-enter into the body and come right back out where we first started, and then you're gonna pull. You don't want this to get to do like this, okay? So you're going to pull gently, and then you're gonna tie 2 knots to secure it really well, just like this. And then you're going to weave in your end through the body like we did when we closed the body earlier. And then we're going to cut that piece off and do the exact same thing on the other side. Once you're done with your legs, come back, we'll do the arms. You have now finished sewing the legs. We are going to sew the little hands. I like to pull on the chains to get those little fingers out and perky like this. We're going to sew them between round 21 and 23. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And I like to put it in there just so the edge of the arm, and I try to align it with the back of the leg like this. You want the fingers to be outward, and you want the arms to go towards the middle, such as the legs, as they are hugging the body. And then we're looking at exactly the same spot as this right here for the other arm. So this is the position. You're going to sew the arms the exact same way we sewn the legs. So you're going to sew the back part of the arm to the body exactly like we did. Then you're gonna tie a knot, and you're gonna use the rest of your tail to go through the front. Same area we did around here, about close to the toes. For the leg, you're gonna do the exact same thing here to attach it to the body. Come back out and do a knot. So if you need, pause the video, go back, go see how we did the leg. You're going to do the exact same thing for both arms. And once that's done, come back. We're going to be doing the head and the face. We are now done sewing the arms. We have the legs and the arms. Now we are onto the little bit more detailed part of sewing. We're going to start with the inner piece of mouth that we're going to put between round 5 and round 14. So again, with a little T-pin to help us count our rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that part we're gonna try, I kind of hide these in. They don't really go nowhere. You can sew them in, of course. I just like to hide them. And then the top of the mouthpiece on round 5. And the bottom should be around round 14, give or take. This is not a big deal if it's not on the exact for the bottom one. The top one, highly recommend for it to be, so it's easier. We're gonna put the pieces on. So I like to put 4 T-pins, just like this. And then with your tapestry needle, you're going to thread with your yarn. You're going to thread your tapestry needle, and it's very simple how we're going to sew the piece, the mouthpiece, the middle mouthpiece. So I'm gonna enter to the head a little bit behind the mouthpiece, try to see, and then you're gonna re-enter from the back, going to the front, coming out to the mouthpiece again, inserting from the front of the mouthpiece, exiting, going back out. Let's go with that. On the head. Then you can take your T-pins out as you go, and you're just gonna do that all around. So that's the same same way you're going to be stitching your whole mouthpiece. So go sew your all around your mouthpiece and then come back because we're going to do the petals. You are now done with sewing the mouthpiece. We are going to sew the petals. So the petals, the way that they will be going is the flat part where your tail comes out. That is the bottom that will be against your head and the mouthpiece, just like this. So the easiest one to sew on is the first. After that, it can be a little challenging, so definitely take your time. You will need to overlap them slightly to make sure they all fit. You don't want them too overlapped. You don't want one that is on and the other one that is too overlapped like this either. They're just gonna overlap a little bit. The way I'm gonna show you sewing piece 1 and piece 2. After that, piece 3, 4, and 5 are gonna be the same as the way you're gonna do piece number 2. So let's start with the first one. I like to start at the top. That's just personal preference. You can put it wherever you want. You start wherever you want, but I like to start at the top. It's a little bit easier. And I like to fold it just a tiny bit like this, and then put it up just like this. And then this part for sure, you're gonna need your pins, just to make sure it really holds in place. So you see how it looks. So all of them go right around that black piece. Again, we need our dandy tapestry needle. We're gonna thread it with our yarn, and we're gonna start sewing. So like we did for the black piece of the mouth, we're just going in and out. You want to try to make sure it's hidden because you don't want those pieces to be seen. So the first and last, always I like to at least go over it twice at the same stitch, over the same stitch, just to be very secure. And then you just really take your time. You insert, when you're in the back, you insert through the head to go to the front. And when you're in the front, you're gonna insert through the petal piece and it's gonna come out at the back. And then again, you insert through the head. You kind of just follow along where you're at. So it's pretty simple. This is all you really gotta do. That's how I sew them on. And as you go, the only difference with the other ones is at the end, when we're gonna get to, see this part here can be a little tricky when you get to the end. And I kind of like to get to like the side like this. The last piece, the last stitch to sew on, I really like to be, I don't know how to say, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want it to be really secure so it's not going nowhere, if that makes sense. Because you don't want it to be seen. See how I'm trying to be as seamless as possible. Sewing can be very tedious and time consuming, but it is worth it. You get all the nice details that you would like. It is for sure worth it. You just take your time. So on the last one, like the other ones, we always tie 2 knots to make it very secure, and then you're just gonna weave in your end through the head like this. For the second one, this is the part where you're gonna be doing all the rest of them, gonna be the same way. We're gonna do the exact same thing we did for this one, but at the end, we're going to also sew these 2 sides together. Not fully, because you don't want it fully closed, but only about two stitches, a max of 3 stitches. And you're gonna overlap them just a little bit, just like this. So first, let's get our T-pins, because we're gonna need them. All right, I like to fold them slightly and gently, because we have 5 we have to fit on here. So we have to squeeze them a little bit, but by doing so, it makes the mouthpiece with the petals not wide open. You can push them open after once they're sewn on, but before that, it keeps where the flower monster has it open but not like ready to attack type of open. That's why we kind of squeeze in the 5 and overlap them slightly, just like that. So let's start sewing our second piece the exact same way we did for the first one. So that's not going to be much different. It's only the end that it will be different, and then you'll be doing the same thing at the end for all the petals. Whoops. And we try for this not to happen. So this can happen. The T-pins came out, and that's okay. It happens. We're just gonna reposition everything. Reposition. I didn't push them through all the way. And it's a pretty easy fix. So if that happens to you, no worries. Okay, let's get to sewing. This part can be a little tricky to try to get to the body part. Sometimes, depending how you start, you could poke from the back. When you insert from the back, it will come through the stitch to the front, or when you do it, depending if how you start, you could, when you're in the back, you're going to be going through the head, and then it all depends how you start, and both ways are fine. Both way works. There's no perfect way, no rules of how to really do it, so feel free to do it the way that you feel comfortable. That's what matters. And this part here is a little tricky. The more petal you have on, the more trickier it will be to sew them on. So definitely take your time. No rush. Okay, so now we're getting to the last one. We're gonna do like we did earlier. We went a little higher. Insert into the head, and then I like to come back at the bottom stitch of the first one, come out, re-enter into the bottom stitch of the second, and pull, and do that onto the second one too, just like this. And now we need to go back all the way down here to fasten off. So I go back in, and we're gonna do what we just did, but going downwards instead of upwards, so we can go back to where we were at the bottom. Now you see we're right here. I like to tie a knot closer to the head, just so like that when we're gonna weave in the end, it's gonna be much easier, and it's not really gonna show through. And then just like this, you're gonna repeat that step all around for all of your petals. If you need to overlap them a little bit more to make them fit, do so, because everybody's tension will be different. So you can overlap them more if needed. Like I might actually need it if I try to hold them on all. See, I would have to overlap them a little bit more for the last one to fit nicely. But yeah, so go sew on your petals and come back, and then we'll be able to get our final flower monster together. Congratulations, you have finished your flower monster. This is how it looks when you're all done sewing the pieces. This is how it turns out with the worsted weight yarn. And if you decide to do plush for your next one, this is how it looks in plush yarn. Oh, forgot a little tail. But here are how they look. Feel free to get the PDF if you want the written version. There is a little GIF in that PDF. I have the mod for the demo dog in the PDF. So I'm really excited for you guys to make this little guy too. Please make sure to, once you make this pattern, put it on social media and tag me. I would love to see your flower monster. And comment below what other tutorials, tips, and tricks you would like to see on my channel. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share to be notified for more tricks and tips. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!